Hi, my name is Aboyeji and I'm Managing Director of Flutterwave. And I just wanted to spend a little bit of time just telling you about Flutterwave.
I want to take you through the remarkable story of Flutterwave, one of Africa's most successful tech startups. Founded in 2016 by Iyoluwa Aboyeji, Olugbenga Agbola, known as GB, and Adeleke Adekoya. This Nigerian fintech company has transformed how money moves across Africa, with its operational head office in Lagos and corporate headquarters in San Francisco. Flutterwave now operates in the US, Canada, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, South Africa, and 29 other African countries. This isn't just another startup story, it's a tale of innovation, determination, and resilience in one of the world's most challenging business environments. It's about how a simple idea grew into a multi-billion-dollar company that's changing lives and economies across an entire continent. Let's go back to 2016 and picture the vibrant chaos of African markets. Street vendors shouting out prices, customers bargaining over goods, businesses thriving but struggling with one major problem: payments. If you have ever tried sending money across African borders, you know the pain. Different currencies, limited banking systems, and delays that could last days or even weeks. This wasn't just annoying, it was stopping countless businesses from growing beyond their local areas. Imagine being a Nigerian entrepreneur wanting to sell in Kenya. The products are in demand, customers are eager to buy, but getting paid, a complete nightmare. The banking system don't connect well, fees are too high, and dealing with different currencies is a constant headache. That's when Iyoluwa Aboyeji and Olugbenga Agbola saw an opportunity. What if businesses across Africa could receive payments instantly regardless of country or currency? No more delays, lower fees, just simple borderless payments. GB had valuable experience having worked with global companies like PayPal, Standard Bank, and Google. He had seen how financial technology was transforming payments worldwide and knew that Africa needed its own solution. With a team of former bankers, engineers, and fintech experts, they launched Flutterwave with a clear mission, which was to remove the barriers that had held African businesses back for decades. From Nigeria to Kenya, from Ghana to the US, they wanted to build the financial bridge that Africa desperately needed. In a continent where cash had always been king, they were starting a new era of digital payments and financial inclusion. Flutterwave's first major product was Rave, a payment system that made it possible for businesses to accept payments from customers worldwide without worrying about currency exchange problems or high fees. Rave eliminated the bureaucratic red tape that had long frustrated African entrepreneurs. Suddenly, accepting international payments became simple and affordable. Then came the Flutterwave store, launched during the COVID-19 pandemic when businesses were struggling to survive. This free, easy-to-use platform allowed small business owners to sell their products online without needing a website. For many, this wasn't just helpful, it was essential for survival. Over 20,000 businesses enrolled through their Keeping the Lights On campaign. This initiative helped thousands of merchants who had previously relied on physical interactions to keep making sales during lockdowns. In 2021, they launched the Send app, an African-focused remittances service that helps people send money instantly across borders. To promote this service among Africans living abroad, they partnered with the famous Nigerian musician Wizkid as their global ambassador. This move helped them to reach the growing African diaspora community, an important market for cross-border payments. They also created Barter, a virtual card solution that transformed how people paid online. Before Barter, Africans had trouble making international payments because of restrictions on local bank cards. Barter offered a secure way for people to pay for subscriptions, shop online, and send money across borders. This solved the real problem faced by millions of Africans every day, especially freelancers and digital entrepreneurs who needed to receive payments from international clients. These innovations made real differences in people's lives. Flutterwave's growth has become impressively fast. By 2021, they raised $170 million in a Series C funding round led by New York-based Avenir Growth Capital and US hedge fund Tiger Global. This made them a unicorn, which is a startup valued at over $1 billion. In less than 5 years, they didn't stop there. In 2022, they raised an even more impressive $250 million in Series D funding, which valued the company at over $3 billion. Other key investors include Y Combinator, Visa Ventures, MasterCard, and Salesforce Ventures. This rapid rise is remarkable when you consider that other major African tech companies like InterSwitch, Jumia, and Fori took over 10 years to reach the same milestone. Flutterwave's earlier funding rounds included $10 million in May 2018 from investors like Greycroft Partners, Rubber Capital, and Golden Palm Investments, $20 million in Series A funding, and $35 million in Series B funding in 2020. They are one of the few African startups to secure more than $200 million in total funding, showing the strong confidence investors have in their vision and execution. Today, Flutterwave processes payments for over 200,000 merchants using their API, and their payment infrastructure covers over 33 countries. They have processed over $10 million in transactions and have partnerships with major companies like Visa, MasterCard, and First Bank of Nigeria. It's worth noting that Uber was their first major customer and remains one of their biggest clients today.
A court in Kenya has frozen more than $40 million in accounts belonging to Africa-focused payments giant Flutterwave under the country's anti-money laundering laws.
But success often brings challenges. In 2022, reports claimed serious problems with Flutterwave: workplace issues, harassment allegations, and security concerns. Media investigations suggested internal problems, with former employees talking about a toxic work culture and questionable management decisions. These reports raised questions about whether rapid growth had come at a cost of healthy company culture. Then, in a more serious blow, Kenyan authorities froze Flutterwave's account over money laundering claims, saying the company didn't have a proper license to operate in the country. This wasn't a minor issue, it threatened Flutterwave's entire operation in one of Africa's key markets. Investors worried about their investment and competitors saw a chance to gain ground. Flutterwave fought back legally and was cleared of all charges in early 2023. The Kenyan court released $51.9 million that it had frozen, and court documents showed that Flutterwave was absolved of any wrongdoing. But the damage to their reputation had been done. Trust, one of their most valuable assets, had been shaken, and rebuilding that trust became their biggest challenge. After facing these challenges, Flutterwave made important changes. They strengthened their compliance policies to ensure all transactions met regulatory standards. This meant reorganizing the company, investing in better anti-money laundering systems, and working closely with regulators to improve transparency. They expanded their legal and regulatory teams, bringing in experts in global financial compliance. They improved their internal governance to promote accountability and stability. In September 2022, they received Nigeria's highest payments processing license, known as a switching license, which allows them to process transactions between banks and cards without intermediaries. This was a major achievement that demonstrated regulators' confidence in their operations. They also secured new operating licenses in Ghana, Uganda, and Egypt, showing they could follow the rules and build trust with governments across the continent. Even during these difficult times, Flutterwave remained strong, processing billions of dollars in transactions. It's important to understand that Flutterwave doesn't actually hold funds. The banks do that. They operate strictly as a licensed technology payment service provider, connecting the financial infrastructure of different institutions. In 2024, Flutterwave's influence continued to grow. The CEO, Olubenga Agbola, was named Vice Chair of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce U.S. Africa Business Center, reflecting the company's growing importance in international business cycles. The company also partnered with Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to establish a cybercrime research center, showing their commitment to fighting financial fraud. They also joined the prestigious Milken Institute's Africa Leaders Business Council, further cementing their position as a leader in African business. GB Agbola himself has received impressive recognition for his leadership. He's been named African Leadership Magazine's 2020 Young Business Leader of the Year and has been recognized on Fortune Magazine's prestigious 40 Under 40 list and Time Magazine's 2021 Next 100 list. Looking ahead, Flutterwave announced plans for an initial public offering in April 2024. However, as of now, April 2025, they still remain a private company. Their shares are not yet traded on any public markets. If they do successfully go public, they could be the first African fintech company to list on a major stock exchange. This would be a landmark moment not just for Flutterwave, but for the entire African tech ecosystem. It will show the world that African fintech can compete globally and could attract more investment to African tech startups. But going public isn't easy. It requires stability, financial strength, and strong investors' confidence. Companies like PayPal and Square had to establish their dominance, refine their business models, and build trust before going public. For Flutterwave, the stakes are even higher. The fintech industry is evolving rapidly, competition is intense, and regulators are watching closely. Any misstep, whether financial, regulatory, or operational, could have serious consequences. One thing is clear though, Flutterwave isn't just another startup chasing growth. It has become a symbol of Africa's potential in the digital economy. It proves that an African company can lead globally and shape the future of payments across the continent and beyond. However, success in this industry requires more than just ambition. It demands resilience, careful execution, and trust, qualities that will determine whether Flutterwave reaches new heights or faces more challenges along the way. Will Flutterwave overcome its challenges and cement its position as a global fintech leader, or will regulation, competition, and market pressure prove too great? Well, the next few years will be crucial, not just for Flutterwave, but for Africa's digital economy as a whole. So that's the story of Flutterwave so far, a company that started with a bold idea, changed digital payments in Africa, and faced some storms along the way. From its ambitious beginning to its rapid rise, and from the problems that threatened it to the resilience that kept it going, Flutterwave shows the power of innovation and determination in solving real problems. But the story isn't over. The fintech world is competitive, with few companies emerging, regulations changing, and digital finance constantly evolving. The next chapter of Flutterwave's journey will be one of the most important in African tech history, and it could help shape the future of finance across the continent. What do you think? Does Flutterwave have what it takes to stay on top, or are more surprises ahead? Well, share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this look at one of Africa's biggest business stories, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.